Now, let me just go back, and I would like to I'd like to have a go at some of these questions, which I promised you. Okay. Now, some of them I think are simpler than others, so I will go through them quite quickly. Wait, let me. Can you all just sign on this? Thank you. Yeah. Now the first one. So this is from set 1. I buy the October 65 put for a premium of 520. So you're long. You basically you're long a put, and the share price is currently 62.50. When do I start making money? Well, you don't actually need to be concerned with where the price is now. This is often called the break-even point, and of course, if the strike was 65, if the strike of the put was 65. Sorry about this. It's very. Whoops. Hello. It's a loose connection, as you can see. So if the strike was 65. I mean, you can always draw these diagrams, these payoff functions or profit P&L diagrams. So we're asking, what is this point? Excuse me 1 second. Hello? Now, so all we're saying is, so this point is 65. We're asking, what is this point? Well, it's just 65 minus whatever premium you paid. How much did you pay? So you paid 520. So you start to make money. So first of all, you want the market to drop as much as possible. But once it's beyond 59.80, you start to become profitable. Okay, so the answer is C. Is everyone okay with that? Okay, so this is a relatively simple question. Now, the second one, you buy the Strangle. Now, first of all, a Strangle is like this. So when you buy, you are, and this is when you are long a Strangle. When you are short, it looks like this. Okay. So you get paid a premium. So when you are buying a Strangle, you have to pay a premium. And when you are short, people will pay you. Now, do you know the difference between a Strangle and a straddle? Did I hear someone say no? Yeah, the straddle has the same strike. When I was a young guy, which wasn't that long ago, I used to have a problem remembering until I found a way. So straddle, S-T-R-A-D-D-L-E. Well, this actually requires you to know how to spell straddle. So we can spell straddle. So straddle has 2 D's. And then I said to myself, all right, well, then the 2 strikes are the same. Now, Strangle does not have two letters that are the same, do they? But straddle does. So that's how I try to remember. Because straddle, you know what I mean? Yeah? Okay. Now, so what is the question? So I buy the 5560 Strangle, which means you have you must have this position here, 55.60, okay? For 550, that's what you paid. And the current price is 57.50, so it's actually bang in the middle. And so before I even look at the rest of the question, I already can figure out that you only start to make money if you are, thank you, I heard that, if you are 63 or beyond, or what's on the other side, 49.50, right? And the price now is 57.50. So, and then I look at the rest of the question. Okay? I will earn money if the price moves 10% until. I think a better way would be to say by expiry, not until, okay, by expiry. Or I will not earn money if the price moves, well, if it moves 10%, it is moving like $5.75, which doesn't, so what is, so if you add 5.75, what do you get? You just get 62. So it will be at oh no, I beg your pardon. So the break even, what am I saying? The break even, you should have, the break even is 65.50, okay? On the other side is okay. Okay. So if you go up to 60, this is 63.25. Okay, so this is actually less than your break-even point, so you don't make money. Okay, that's question 2. Is everyone okay? I will share this. I will share this PDF with you later on. Okay, with all the with the annotations as well. I sell the October call spread now. So you sell, first of all, if you buy a call spread, if you buy, okay, you are doing this. So 22,000 you buy, and 22,200 you sell. Okay, so this is if you are long the call spread. First of all, let's try to be clear. What does it mean when you are long a call spread? So when you are short the call spread, you are doing the exact opposite. Okay, so when you are long this one and you are short this one. So when you are short the call spread, it's like a mirror image. So you are, I wish I could actually ask you guys and then listen to your answers. That's ordinarily what I would do in a tutorial, and then from your answers I know whether you understand or not. But maybe I'll use this one. For today, we don't have that luxury. Okay, so this is so I'm now so I'm long this call and I'm short this call, but here I'm short the call spread, so I'm short this one and I am long 22,200. Okay, so you can see immediately, and I get paid 50 points for it. So what do I want to see happen? Well, it doesn't actually say where the market is, but if you are selling you can see when you are selling a call spread, generally, you want the market to flip that way. You want the market to drop to zero. That's the best, okay? Always, you can try to think of really extreme situations. What is the really extreme case you want to see? And what is the really extreme case that can hurt you, okay? So this is what you want to see. And over here, this is what will hurt you. Will hurt you. Okay? Now, it's talking about maximum profit. Okay? Which do you think is the right answer? C. Maximum profit is 150 if the index expires below 22,000. Now, you are partly correct. Your maximum profit happens because of what I just said to you. If the market drops a lot, okay? Now, your maximum profit is very simple. You sold something. You sold an option package, okay? And when you are selling something, all that you will get is the premium that you receive, okay? So, which is 50. If you buy something, that's different, okay? Because here you sold, so the correct answer actually is B, okay? B. Let me just circle that. Now, the fourth question, I buy the October 150 strike call in Hong Kong Exchange. This is actually the name of the company, okay? It doesn't mean you buy it there. The Hong Kong Stock Exchange is a private company. And you pay 550 for it, okay? And then you sell, and here I think what they mean is you short sell. If you just sell the shares, there's no consequence, okay? So you short sell 100 shares at 146. And this position is similar to buying or selling the October put at which price, okay? Now, because there are 2 points of reference, one is, I assume that is the spot price because you are short selling at that. The other is the strike of the call, which is 150. So you can just ask yourself, what happens if, the way I like to think about this is, what happens at maturity if the stock price either rests here or it's here, okay? Now, what happens to your call if at maturity your 150 call, now it's going to be worth nothing, okay? And then you short sold some stocks. In fact, because you paid, your call is worth nothing, but you paid 550, ladies and gentlemen. So you're going to be down by that amount. That's the premium you paid, okay? Now for your short selling, you don't have any gains or loss because it hasn't moved, okay? Now, if at maturity, the stock price was at 150, let's say. Then what happens here is for the call, the outcome is still the same. Okay, so you have lost 550. And here, because of your short selling, you have lost an additional $4. You short sold at 146, it's gone up. Okay, so on a net basis, you have lost 950 here, and here you have lost 550. Now here there's something where you lose less money as the market goes down, so that probably looks like being long a call option, a put option, sorry, okay. In fact, if you look at all the answers, A is the only one that fits the bill, because if you are long a put at and you pay 950 for it, if you long 150 strike put and it doesn't, and it goes back to 150, then like I said, you have lost $9.50, which is the same as if you pay for a put option at a strike of 150 and it's exactly at the money. Okay, now what about here? So here, if you were long a put at 150 and you pay $9.50, now that put is $4 in the money. Which will offset the premium you paid of $9.50. So all in all, you have a loss of $5.50. Okay, so this is put call parity in action again. Okay. Now for question 5, this should be a very simple one. This is again using that simple Cathay Pacific FX, okay, where F is spot price plus the interest on the strike. I don't mind telling you that in my habit when taking exams is that when I go into the exam room, okay, right away, well, not right away, you know, after the bell goes and they say you may start, okay, I will write down a lot of these key formulas that I know I will be using for the next 3 hours, and then I just keep. But don't do that as soon as you sit down, okay? Do it when we say you may start, okay? Otherwise, we're wondering what the hell are you doing, okay? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now this one, so C, you just plug in the formula, okay? So C minus P, so C is the call option. What are they asking for? Oh, they're asking for the put. So the call option minus the put should be equal to the spot price, 1.8, plus interest on the strike. The strike is $2. The interest rate is 4%, so that will be 8 cents for 1 year. So sometimes you've got to be very careful whether it's 1 year or 6 months or a quarter, okay? Minus the strike, that's it, okay? So you can figure out what P should be. Just this one. Okay, I think we're doing well. I would like to be able to get up to at least question 12 today, if possible. I think we can. Now, for question number 6, so you have a straddle here. Straddle. And the strike is 100. I want to tell you something interesting about a straddle in just a moment, which you may or may not have thought about. So this one will cost you $14 to buy. Share price right now is 103. So interest rate 4%, maturity 6 months, dividend $1. And is asking you to solve for the call and the put. We know that when they are bought as a package, it will cost you 14. We also know that our old friend C minus P is equal to S plus interest on the strike. You see how useful this is? Minus D minus X. Now, you know all that. You know this is given. This you can figure out. Now, like I said, be very careful now, because this is maturity 6 months. If your strike is 100, the interest on the strike is not 4, it's 2, because it's only 6 months. So this is $2. The spot price is 103 minus dividend of $1, okay, minus the strike of 100 should be equal to C minus P, which you don't know. The thing is, if you know a little bit of high school algebra, that's why your parents sent you to primary school, okay? Because you learn interesting stuff, useful stuff, okay? When you have two equations and two unknowns, you actually can solve for both, okay? They're called simultaneous equations. Remember that? No? But you have learned, right? Yeah, okay. When you add the two equations, P will disappear. So you find C, and then from C, you can figure out what P is, okay? The correct answer is C, okay? I won't go through it because it's so simple. I'll just tell you the method, yeah. In fact, when you go home, it's a good exercise for you to verify, okay? And if I get it wrong, you can tell me, okay? Now, question 7. I buy the 1 year 200 call at 9. I sell the 1 year 200 put at 5. I sell shares at 201. So again, this is actually, you are short selling, okay? You are short selling shares. And so you artificially create a short position on purpose. Now, the assumption is that this is actually the spot price. Okay, I'm sorry if it's not clear. And then you use our old friend again. C minus P is S plus. You see, it just turns up everywhere. Is there a dividend? No dividend? Okay, forget that. Okay, so all you got to do is say C, your call is 9 minus 5, okay? So the package is going to cost you $4, is equal to 201 plus interest on the strike, and the strike is 200, so that would be 2% of that is $4. Now, again, the last thing I always check is what is the tenor. If it's 1 year, then go right ahead. If it's 6 months, then you got to make an adjustment. Okay, I should say minus dividend and minus the strike. So minus dividend and minus the strike is 200. Okay, now I'm going to simplify that. So on the left hand side, you now have $4, and on the right hand side, you have 205 minus, so $5 minus D. Okay, so that means, okay, this is what I bought. B-O-U-G-H-T. Okay, and then this question doesn't say anything about the dividend, but if there is a dividend and it's at $1, okay, then this trade actually will break even. Otherwise, there will be an arbitrage. Okay. Now, you look at the choices. If there is no dividend, if there is no dividend, okay, then this package, if you look on the right hand side, it should actually be worth $5. If you bought it at 4, you actually bought something cheap. So therefore A doesn't make sense. And B definitely is true. Okay, now for C, if there is a dividend of $2, then if you just look purely at this, okay, your long call short put package should really be only worth $3. If you paid 4, you have overpaid that, so you haven't earned anything. Okay. Now question 8. Which of the statements is incorrect? I find this question a little bit problematic, to be honest with you. I know that, okay, again, this guy keeps turning up, okay? I know it's asking you which one is not true. Okay, now first of all, when calculating the future price, the real future, okay, it is true that it's the spot price plus the interest on the spot. So this is actually correct. When calculating the synthetic, in this context, Tobias means long call short put. Okay, this is what he means by the synthetic. You use the interest over the strike. That is true. Okay, the only problem, as I have said, many times, is he sometimes refers to this as the forward, and that just ends up confusing everyone. So this is the Tobias Hexter forward. Okay, I think he knows that, and sometimes he said, yes, I maybe I shouldn't. He said maybe he knows this is not the forward. Okay. Now, when in a long synthetic, a dividend increase would hurt you. It is true, because if this goes up, this will go down. Okay, so this is true, this is true, this is true. So that leaves the last one. The only risks in a synthetic position are interest rate risk and dividend risk. In other words, what will cause the change of your package here? Now you can see if this is changing, that would change. That would have an impact. It is true. If your dividend is changing, that has an impact. So it looks like this is also correct. I think the reason they said this is incorrect, or apart from the fact that A, B, C are all correct, is that sometimes put call parity can be violated. Okay, so the two, which is what is sometimes known as the basis risk. So if these things don't line up, even though you think that C minus P should be equal to what's on this other side, okay, if it doesn't line up and you think you have an arbitrage, it depends on the conditions of those items on your right hand side, sort of realigning themselves, and if they don't realign themselves, then you don't make any money. Okay. Now question 9. Which of the following is correct? So only one of them is correct. The future, okay, let me, again, I think you are starting to see okay, this one I will use, this is the real future. Okay, so the future is equal to the spot plus interest on the spot minus the dividend. Okay, it's asking you which one is correct. So the future can trade below the strike only if there is a dividend. Well, look, the future minus the strike no, it's got nothing to do with the strike. Okay, so the future can trade below the strike when the market crashes. Okay, so it's got nothing to do with the strike whatsoever. It's got something to do with the spot price. Okay, and so for the second one, when dividend exceeds the interest amount, a put of a given strike is worth more than the call. Well, whether the put is actually worth more than a call of the same strike, it really depends on where your spot price is. Okay, now the dividend may have a role, but you can't make a statement like statement B, because sometimes it's true, sometimes it is not. It's got nothing to do with the relative price of a put and a call. Okay, it depends on where the spot price is. Now for C, when the future trades below the spot, there must be a dividend priced in. Now what does that mean? Now I've just shown you the parity relationship here, and if the future trades below the spot, it means the future is less than the spot. So that means F minus S is negative. So that implies that the right hand side is also negative, is less than 0. Okay, so that implies that the interest on the spot has to be less than the dividend. Now, because the interest can only be 0, now just hold on a second. Okay, so the floor for the interest rate is 0, so you come to the conclusion that for the future to be less than the spot, or for the future to trade below the spot, the dividend has to be bigger than 0. So in other words, there has to be a dividend priced in. Okay, now the interesting thing is, in this modern day and age of negative interest rates, it's actually throwing out a lot of derivative pricing out the window, because if you have if interest rate was negative, this statement no longer applies. Okay, maybe interest rate was minus 1% and dividend was 0. Okay, but that's another discussion for another day. Okay. A and C. Okay, it's saying that the future can only trade below the strike. Okay, now the strike is not actually here. Yeah. Okay, so the strike price does not participate in this discussion at all. Okay. Now question 10. This is I'm glad that we have got up to question 10 at the very least, because it is related to the remarks I made at the very beginning of the class about at 10 o'clock. You still remember what I was telling you at 10? Why is it that when an option just goes through time, with the passage of time, and nothing changes, why is it that the delta can change, and how does it change? Now, I used in that example a call option, and the reason it is changing is because it's coming down, so it becomes flat, so the delta decreases, and here the delta is increasing. Okay? This is how I like to remember it. And actually, for a put option, you could come up with something similar. Now, this is if you are long a put. I will draw this. If you are long a put with, let's say, 3 months to maturity, relative to a put which only has, I'll use the blue color. Let's say it only has 1 month, okay? So this is a 1 month put. And you can see immediately, now first of all, a put delta, when you are long put, the delta of a put is always negative. When you are long, okay? When you are long put, what do you want to see happen? You want the market to crash, don't you? Okay. So when market goes down, you're happy. So that must mean you are long, you are short delta. Okay. Now, if you are short the put, of course, you are long delta. Okay. If you are short the put, someone will claim on you when the market crashes. So you want the market to rise all the way, to the ceiling, and then you are happy. So if you're happy when market goes up, you must be long. You must be long delta. Now here is a similar argument. So here, let's say you have there's a delta here. Now this put is at this point is in the money. It's in the money, and I'll use the black color, and you can see that when you are long the put, okay, and the put is it might be easier if I put some imaginary numbers to it. If you long the put and it is a long-term put and it's in the money, let's say, okay, so it's in the money, then the delta would be more than 50. Okay, so the delta here is 0. So the delta here, and the delta here would be -1. So here, when it's in the money, let's just say it is minus 55. Okay, and then for out of the money, it may be minus 25. Okay, now what happens if you are long that put and the put goes through the passage of time and nothing has changed except that time goes by? So as I said, this line becomes steeper. So your put now might be might have a delta of, let's say, minus 60. Okay. Whereas here on the other side, if your put delta was minus 25, now it's become flatter. So this might be, let's say, minus 15. Okay? You can see here it's getting flatter. Now, with that info, with that kind of guidance, you should now be in a position to tackle question 10. Now the only difference, okay, first of all, if you look at question 10, so you are short an October 90 put and the shares are trading at 95. So this put is actually out of the money put, okay? And you are short the put. And you delta hedge it and you go to sleep for 2 weeks. I wish I could do that. After you wake up, the share price is still 95. That just means nothing has changed. The world was completely frozen, okay? Now, how do you do a question like that? So it's an out of the money put, you are short and you are delta hedged. So if you go over here, so it's out of the money, and if you are long this put, this would be your delta, okay? Now, because you are short the put, so maybe your delta is now plus 25. Okay, so you are short this long-term out of the money put. Now, if you delta hedge that, you need to buy some stocks. You need to sell some stocks. You sell some stocks to offset that. Okay, so this is your position, and then you have no delta. Now, so the question is, this is before, okay? Now, what happens in 2 weeks? In 2 weeks, the put delta would drop from 25 or would change from minus 25 to minus 15. So this will now become your new put delta. Now, for your stock position, that hasn't changed. So on a net basis, you will now be short delta, because your delta position on the put has decreased, okay? So the correct answer is in fact C. Are you okay with that? If not, ladies and gentlemen, go home and have a listen to it, and I hope you will get it when you do. Okay, now I'm going to have a look at question 11. And the question is as follows. With the share price at 105, I have a position where I'm long the October put 110, and I'm short the December put also 110. Now, the first thing that I pick up from here is, first of all, these puts are both of them in the money, number one, okay? Because the put strike is 110 and the market is now 105. Secondly, I am long a short-term put and I'm short a long-term put, all else being equal. Now, like I said to you before, I sometimes like to do two things. The first thing is I like to draw diagrams. So here there is a put option. So like I was doing earlier, so let's say you have a put, and let's see if I can draw this well. So let's say this is the December put, okay, and this one is the October put. It looks like this because, as I said, if nothing changes, then just through the simple passage of time, this curve will gradually sinks and get dragged back down to earth by gravity. And now, so if this was the put strike at 110, then 105 will be, let's just say somewhere around here. Okay. All right. Now what happens is there will be a put delta here. Okay, and there will be another put delta here. Now, because to go from this tangent to this one, there is a steepening tendency. Steepening. I think you probably recall I was saying exactly this in this morning's here. Okay, in the tutorial this morning I was saying exactly that. If you have two put options and the only difference is that one of them has a shorter time to run, so that will be the blue one here, okay, then it will be steeper. That means the delta would be higher. Now you got to be a bit careful here. The subtle part about this question is that delta of, so first of all, delta of a call is between 0 and 100, okay, but delta of a put actually is between 0 and minus 100. Okay, now delta of a put is always negative if you are long. Anyway, if you're long a put which is deeply in the money, the delta is minus 100. That just means it's 100% following the market, and as the market goes down, the put price will go up. Okay, that's why there's a minus sign. Now, so here, let me try and put some numbers to it. Okay, now the delta of the put, if you are long, okay, let's talk about the okay, let me do it down here. Okay, so just rub that off. Okay, so now the so delta of the October put, I'll do the December one first. December put. Okay, so December would be the one which is actually on top. So let's say the delta of this is let's say minus 55. Let's just say it is. Okay, now I say 55. I know it's definitely greater than 50, and the reason I know is that this option is in the money. An option that is at the money typically will have a delta close to 50. Okay, this one is in the money, and the delta of the October put, because it's closer to maturity, would be actually higher. So it may be like minus, let's say 58. I mean, the absolute value is greater because it's steeper. Okay, it's actually more negative. Now here I'm long the October put, so this one is correct. Okay, this is when you are long, but I'm actually short the December put. So my delta for so here's when I'm long. So my delta for the December put, the sign actually needs to change. Okay, because I'm short. So when you have the two of them together, okay, you can see that you come to the conclusion that I'm net short delta. Am I not? Because I'm net short 3 deltas, in other words. Okay, so if I am short delta, in order for me to hedge, I need to be long delta, so that means I have to buy shares. Okay, it really is that simple. Okay, so the correct answer is A. Okay. Now, let's take a look at question 12. Okay, now for this question, it says I have a mystery position with the following characteristics. I'm gamma short and delta long, and there is this is regarding a particular stock, and the share price is currently $95. What is my position? Now, this question looks hard, but let me take you through it. When I analyze these positions one by one, I think you will know that it's not really that hard. So I'm going to take a look at A and B and C and D in turn, and I'm going to analyze their delta and their gamma positions. Okay, now the first one, if you are long a call and you are short a put at the same strike, you've gone long a forward at 100. No matter what happens, either you're going to exercise on someone or someone's going to exercise on you, so you're long. And if you are long, you are also delta long. Okay, so that means if you have this position, what the hell does delta long mean? That delta long just means if the market goes up, you're happy, which in this case you are. Okay, now for gamma, so you have a put position which is $5 in the money, and you have a call position which is $5 out of the money. Okay, now the interesting thing about puts and calls, or options in general, is that when an option is either in or out of the money by the same amount, so let's say 5%, okay, their gammas actually are very, very close. So for the purpose of this question, you can kind of assume that they are the same. Okay, so for instance, if the spot price was 95, okay, I would argue that a call with a strike of 100, or a call with a strike of 90, okay, or a put with a strike of 100, or a put with a strike of 90, they would all have very, very similar gammas. The reason being, they are all symmetric with regard to the current price. Now you're wondering, Sam, where did you get that kind of stuff from? Well, if you were to look at, and that's why during the second session I asked you to study carefully these diagrams. Now this will give you a hint regarding the gamma. Okay, the graph in the middle, it applies to not just call options but put options as well. Okay, so it's really just measuring the change of your delta when the price is changing. So if you can appreciate that, then what you have here is the gamma position for A. They would be approximately equal, okay, because the gamma of your long call is let's just say 5%, well, $5, not 5%, 5%, $5 away from the money. How about that? Okay, away from the money. whether it's in the money or out of the money, it's either side of it. Okay. That being the case, you could make an argument that the gammas of puts or calls, okay, either side of the spot market, they are actually quite similar. And like I said, here is the clue for that, the graph in the middle. Okay, now so A cannot be the answer because they said your gamma position is gamma short. Okay, now what about B? Now, for B, first of all, what's B? So you're long a call and you are long a put at 100. Now, so you are effectively long a straddle. Okay. The interesting thing about, now first of all, here you are because you are long option, you're long call, long put, so you are net long. You have to be long gamma. Okay, whenever you are long options, you are long gamma, which is a wonderful thing to have because then you earn gamma revenue after you delta hedge. You earn a half gamma ds square. Okay, but then you actually need to pay for that. Okay, so we'll talk more about this in the next tutorial. So B, you know, is incorrect because you're supposed to be gamma short. Okay, but what about the delta? Okay, now if you are long a call and long a put, so what you're doing is, if I can just draw this, you are long a call and long a put. Now, you know what is interesting about a straddle? If you are long a call at 100 and long a put at 100, and let's say the spot right now is also 100, okay? You can check this out in any when you are long a straddle, you come very close to having almost no delta position because your long call would have a delta close to 50 plus 50, and your long put would have it wouldn't be exactly 50, but it would be close. Your long put will have a delta close to minus 50, so end up it looks like you don't have a position, but of course you do. Now in this case, the share price is actually 95, not 100. Okay, so that means yeah, in a situation like that, your put actually is in the money, but your call is has taken kind of taken a back seat and not really doing much. So the put at this stage is dominating the action. Now your payoff in real time actually kind of looks, well, this is not a good one. It kind of looks like this. Okay, so when you are here, it's definitely the long put, which is gonna get most of the attention. Okay, if you are over here on the other side, then it's a different story. Then the call takes over. But here, it's mainly the put dominating. Now, if you're long a put, are you long delta or are you short delta? You are short delta. Okay, so if the question says you are delta long, B also cannot be the right answer. So both of these actually are wrong. Okay, they are exactly the other way around. Now for C, let's take a look at C. Okay, so you are short call and you are short put. So you are short options everywhere. So I know that you have to be short gamma. Okay, to begin with. When you are short options, you are definitely short gamma, and because you are short call and short put, If you are short call and long a put, then I'm not so sure. But you're short the call, short the put, you have to be short gamma. Okay. Now, what about delta? If you are short the call and short the put, it will be exactly the opposite. It's a mirror image of what I just drew, and the market right now is here. Okay, so this is your position. Now your payoff dynamically would look like this, and you are here right now. Okay, so here, like I said, it's actually the put option that dominates action. Your call doesn't have a lot to do here, or it has less to do. Okay, you're $5 in the money for the put, and that being the case, you are going to be, as you can see, okay, here you have to be long delta. Okay, and your delta coming from your long put is far more likely to dominate whatever is the call. If you want to put some numbers to it, okay, so your put may have a delta of, let's say, 60. Okay, now I know it's more than 50 because it's in the money, and if you are short, if you are long the put, then you are long delta, so this would be like plus 60. Okay, now for the call, so for the call, because it's out of the money, the delta might be, let's say, 40. Okay, but that's if you long the call. Okay, but for choice C, you are short the call, so that would mean you have to put a minus sign in front of it. So on a net basis, you are still long delta. Okay, so here you are long. Okay, so choice number C seems to really fit the bill, and it's certainly consistent with all the requirements. And let's have a look at D. Okay, now here you are short the call and long the put, which is exactly the opposite to choice A. So I know that you have to be short delta, so that would make it the wrong answer to begin with. But what's even more, the gamma position also wouldn't change. Okay, so that also doesn't fit with what you're given. Okay, so that's the answer to question 12. Now for question 13, which of the following, so there's a share trading at 100, long for gamma. Which of the following delta hedge regimes would you prefer? It just means that when the market moves, I will earn gamma revenue. What is that gamma revenue? Okay, if this is my option and I have delta hedged it, no matter whether the market goes up or down, I will earn extra money either here or here. Okay, how much? Well, it depends on how the stock price moves. So if this is the distance is ds, okay, then my gamma revenue is a half times gamma times ds square. Now here there are three different possibilities. So all you got to do is, now for the first one, it would be a half times 4, that's the gamma, times the square of 3. And in fact, you don't even need to care about half times 4 because they will be the same for all the other ones. Okay, so this is a half times 4 times 9. Okay, times 9. times 9. Now, the second one, when it goes up, it will be a half times 4 times the square of 2 times the square of 2, and then plus, when it comes back down, again is a half times 4 times square of 2. So this will be basically a half times 4 times 8. Okay, so already you know that B cannot be the right answer because A is a better answer. Now for C, you are just going to do a half times 4 times 1.5 squared, and then 3 times, because it goes up and down and back up again. Okay, what's 1.5 times 1.5 is 2.25, and 2.25 times 3 is 6.75. Okay, so A is the best answer. Okay, so it shows that it's better just to have one whopping big move instead of a lot of other ones. The beauty of this question is when you add up these movements, these absolute movements, it looks like, oh, you're traveling a long distance, you know, up 1.5, down 1.5, that's a round trip of $3, and then up another 1.5. It doesn't beat just going right up one time. Okay, all right. So that's question 13. Now question 14 I think is relatively simple. So I sell the October 100 strike call for $4. Now that would be $4 per share, and the contract size actually is 100, and so that means you will receive $400 for doing this, because one contract covers 100 shares. If you sell 100 calls, okay, so then you are short delta. Okay, so in order to hedge that, you need to buy some shares, which is what you are doing exactly. So you buy 40 shares at $98 a share, and you are asked to calculate what are your break-even points. Okay, at expiry. Okay, so you sell a call, and then you have a hedge, you have a delta hedge, but this, if you just leave it at that, it may or may not work. Okay, now you can actually work them out one by one. What happens if at maturity the share price is at 104? Okay, so first of all, you lose money. You're going to lose $6. No, sorry, you make $6 from the shares, so you have a profit of $6, and then that's over 40 shares. Okay, so that's your gain. What is your loss? If the share price was 104 and you sold a call at 100 strike, so it's $4 in the money, so you lose $4, but then you got paid $4, so you don't have any, you don't lose anything on the option, but you have a gain on the hedge. Okay, so A cannot be the right answer. Okay, now let's have a look at B. What happens at 108? So at 108, you can actually look at just the call option and then also what happens on the stock. Okay, so at 108, for the call option, you have lost $8, but then because you got paid $4 on the premium, so you've only just lost $4. You lost $4 over 100 shares. That's $400. Okay, now on the stock, okay, you are going to make $10 per option from 98 to 108 over 40 shares. So that's actually plus 400. Okay, so 108 actually works. Now, what about 92? What about 92? Okay, so at 92 for the call, so you sold the call, and you are going to be able to just keep that money in your pocket because it's out of the money. Okay, so you actually have a gain of $400. Okay, and then for the stock, you have a loss of $6 per share over 40 shares. So that's a loss of 240. So on a net basis, you don't break even. You make a little bit of money. Okay, so B cannot be right. Okay, now you could actually no, you can't. I was going to say you can just come to the conclusion that C is the right answer because you know it contains 108. Okay, but better actually to just to investigate these guys as well. Okay, no, maybe you don't need to because we knew that 104 is not correct. Okay, so 104 is not correct, and we know that 108 is correct, so it has to be C. Okay, but in any case, let's just try and verify what happens to 88. Okay, now at 88, so for the call, again, you're going to be able to keep the money, keep the premium. Okay, now for the stock, for the hedge, what do you lose? You bought shares. You bought 40 shares at $98 a share. You have now lost $10 per share if the stock price drops to 88. Over 40 shares, you have a loss of $400. Okay, so this is exactly the opposite of here, where you lost money on the call, but you make money on your hedge. Here, you make money on your call, but you lose money on your stock. Okay, so C is the right answer in any case. Now, question 15. I think this question is kind of similar to question 14. Here you buy the October 100 straddle, and you also buy 20 shares. Okay, now they haven't said anything about contract size, which I think will not happen in the final exam. You can always assume, I think, as far as I can remember, this, by the way, is American convention, which I think is pretty cool. In the United States, for all stock options, whenever you trade, one contract is equal to options for 100 shares. Okay, so for example, you buy an option on Google, so one contract would be calls or puts on 100 shares of Google. The reason they do that is, let's say you need to delta hedge it and the delta is 55. Okay, then you just need to buy or sell 55 shares for every option contract, because the option contract covers 100 shares. Okay, that's the reason. So this is covering 100 shares. Okay, and so that's the starting point. Now, so you buy the October. Whoops, I'm sure it's better. You buy. That's not much better. Never mind. So there's a straddle that you have bought, and you pay $10. and you also buy 20 shares at 98. It really is quite simple. Okay, so you've got, I don't know why you would want to buy 20 shares at 98, but never mind. So you've got the call, the put, and the shares to think of. Okay, and all you got to do is line them up. So now at 90, what happens? At 90, your call doesn't make any money. Okay, and your call doesn't make any money. Your put will make $10 per share over 100 shares. Okay, and your stock, because you buy 20 stocks at 98, and so you have lost $8 times 20. Okay, this is actually a loss. Now don't forget, actually you pay the premium, which is a sunk cost. So you have paid $1,000. Now at 110, now what happens is, okay, so you still have a sunk cost of $1,000, so that one is always going to be there. Now here the call is in the money, so you made $10 over 100 shares. The put gives you nothing. And for the stocks, you buy 20 shares at 98, so you have made $12 times 20. Okay, now I don't think any of these, so this is at 1,000, sorry, this is not 10 times, it's 10 times 100. Okay, so so this one definitely is not equal to 0. Okay, so this is not, 90 cannot be a break-even point. So you know right away that A and C cannot be the right answer. Okay, so here for 110, also this does not add up to 0. So this cannot be the right answer. Okay, now in check 88. What happens at 88? At 88, so the call will not make money. I'm so sorry. Okay, but the put will. The put is going to make you $12 over 100 shares. So that's 1,200. Now the premium, by the way, this should come with a minus sign. Okay, so minus 1,000. Okay. Now for the stock, what has happened there? You bought at 98, the stock is now at 88, so you've lost $10 over 20 shares, so that's $200. Okay, now this one does add up to be 0. Okay, so you know that the 88 definitely is the right answer. Okay, thing is, what about 108? Does that work? Okay, so you can just simply plug that in. Okay, you see, it's really not that hard. I like this course because I am always able to analyze and deduce things from first principle once I actually get back to it. I was a little bit rusty to start with, but now a lot of it is coming back to me. So here, you have an $8 gain over 100 shares. The put gives you nothing, so the premium is minus 1,000. Okay, now what happens to the stock? The stock price has risen $10, so you have a gain here of $10 over 20 shares, which is 200. 200 plus 800 over here is 1,000. So this one also equals to 0. So B is the correct answer. Okay. Now, this is the last question for set 1. And just take a moment to read it. I have a position with the following characteristics. So share price is 60. I am delta flat, I'm gamma long, I pay theta. Okay, I pay theta means if absolutely nothing changes except that the clock is ticking by, your position will lose value one day after the next. Okay, now here you can see that there are calls and puts, same strike. Okay, so you take one look at this question. I think you practically can sort of expect what's coming, because again you are dealing with options with the same strike, the same underlying, but different maturities. But this time you are dealing with calls and puts. Now that's nothing to be afraid of. So you have a package of long and short calls and puts, different maturity dates, same strike. Okay, so that helps. Where you are delta flat, you are long gamma, you are paying theta. Now, if you, let's take A to start with. Okay, if you are long a put, which looks like this, and you are short a call, which looks like that. Okay, so when you add them up, you are basically short. Okay, sometimes you just need to, in your mind, be able to think of these payoff diagrams and add them up visually. Okay, so you are short, so you will be short delta, so you cannot be delta flat, so that one's wrong. Okay, now B cannot be correct, because if you are short the call and you are short the put, you definitely have to be short gamma. When you are short options, you are short gamma. It's actually when you are long one and you are short another one that we have to think a little bit. But when you are short and short, you are short gamma. So A cannot be correct because you are not delta flat in A. B cannot be correct because you are actually gamma short and not gamma long. Okay, now for C, you are long the short-term call and short the long-term call. And these are both at the money. Now here, what you can do is, if you recall, I was already telling you that the diagram in the middle, okay, is the one that shows you the gamma, and you can see the short-term gamma actually is higher than the long-term gamma. Okay, now which one are you short, which one are you long? Let's have a look. Okay, so the short-term gamma is higher than the long-term gamma. Okay, now you are long the short term. So let's say the short term has a gamma of 4, then the long term will have a gamma of, let's say, 3. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, but here you are long, this one you are short, so your gamma would be -3. Okay, so on a net basis you are still long. Okay, So you are gamma long, so that looks quite promising. Are you delta flat? Now, here the trick is, so this morning I was telling you about the behavior of put and call deltas when they are either in the money or out of the money. Now, what if they are actually at the money, which is the case here? And when they're at the money, then what you can do is you can refer to this diagram here. So when they're at the money, the delta of short or long or medium term options tend to be roughly the same. Okay, that's the point of this question. So as a result, you come to the conclusion that for C, you should be long gamma and flat on delta. So delta flat. Now, are you actually paying theta or receiving theta? Well, that depends. Now, you have a call. You are long a call, which will mature soon, and you are short another one, which will mature later. And typically, in a situation, let's imagine you are now. You are in September. So you are long an option with just 1 month to go, okay, 1 month, and you are short an option with 2 months to run, okay, and so for the one you are long, you are losing value, and so is this one, the one you sold, okay. Now, if the one you are long is losing value, you're not really so happy, but for the one that you sold, if it's losing value, of course you are happy about that. So the question is, on a net basis or comparatively, which one is losing value faster? Okay, and it is always the one which has got a shorter time. You can very easily verify that by, let's say you go to a website, any website, including our old friend optionprice.com, price.com. Okay, so you can see that. Just wait till it comes up. Turn on some music in the meantime. Why is it taking so long? Oh man, why does it take so long? Well, anyway, you can try it yourself. Okay, so C is the answer that fits everywhere. You lose money because your long option, your long shorter term option will lose money faster than the one where you sold. Okay, so on a net basis, maybe over 1 day, you lose 5 cents on your long option, and for the short option, maybe you only the drop in value is only 3 cents, so you're happy with that because you sold it. Okay, when you are short something, you are happy always to see the price go down, but here you're not so happy. Okay, and on a net basis you're still not happy because you're losing 2 cents. 5 minus 3. Okay, so C is the right answer. I hope that's been helpful. So this actually completes the treatment for question set number 1. Okay, thank you very much. Take care.